What's up, my peeps? It's Cynthia, aka C-Flow, and welcome to my channel. Today, we're going to discuss Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 14, Episode 11, Cabin Fever. But first, I ask that you subscribe to my channel and hit that like button. We start off with the ladies in the Sprinter returning to the cabin from the restaurant that they were in when Marlo and Kenya had a little disagreement. Marlo tells the ladies while they were at the house that if Kenya does not show up in the morning, that she will not be able to participate in the activities. Kenya shows up in the morning, real chipper, says hi to everyone, says a somewhat of a hi to Marlo, basically brushes her off. Marlo asks Kenya if she could come to her room so they can talk, and Kenya pretty much brushes her off. Sonia and Kenya starts to talk, and Sonia tries to tell Kenya to be nice to Marlo, that it's about her, and you know, can't they get over their differences? And Kenya is not hearing it. Kenya says she doesn't even care about her nephew, so why would she care about me? And then Kenya kind of recalls a story of how she felt rejected. I think she said that she was staying somewhere and then like her maternal grandmother, and they were returning her back to wherever she was living. And this part of the story, I'm not so sure is true. Sorry, it just seems kind of weird. Where she, because I got the opinion that she was young. So she said she was in the car when they were taking her back to wherever. And she she opened the door and jumped out of her car and rolled, and they couldn't find her. And then she said she was staying, they couldn't find her for some days, and she was staying with an old boyfriend or something like that. That was kind of weird. Nah. So she's basically saying Marlo abandoned or rejected her nephews. She ain't going to be nice to me, basically. So Sonia becomes messy and tells Sheree and Marlo what Kenya said basically about um, Marlo and the nephew. So of course Marlo was getting all buck like, oh, she can't be having my nephew's name in their mouths. Which I'm like, Marlo, you said some pretty interesting and hurtful things to Kenya about when she was pregnant. So miss me with that. But she gets really defensive. It's funny because the producers asked Sonia, what is the difference between being a peacemaker and a bone collector? So she tries to explain it away, but she being a bone collector, Sheree even said in her confessional that she's passing on the torch to Sonia to be the bone collector. And Marlo's like, she feels like Kenya doesn't have to be here. And I agree. So um again, she wants Kenya. She wants to talk to Kenya before they get on the bus. But Marlo is still shading as she's getting ready, still shading Kenya, talking about she's a 60-year-old lady. Candy tells Kenya that they are going gem mining, and because Kenya thought they were going hiking. Kenya reminds Sheree to call a friend that she referred Sheree to help her with her business. And I think that's really cool that that Kenya is really trying to help Sheree get She by Sheree off the ground. We're ready to see that. Let's see. Oh yeah, so then Candy starts giving good advice about how Sheree needs to get some help to help her business be successful. Briefly, she just said that she can start with to launch a small part of her line, get the money from that, because she does have the most well-known brand out of all the girls, which Candy said, that she'll probably sell out with this small collection, take that money to hire more people. Makes sense to me, but Candy was popping that knowledge. Let's see. So Fatum shows up, which of course Drew is not happy about it. She's like, oh my God, why is she here? Just being Drew. Marlo tries to talk to Kenya again, and they start to argue. Kenya tells her to change her tone. Marlo's being very passive aggressive, changing her tone in a way that was a bit ridiculous. And then Kenya walks away. Marlo tells Kenya, have a safe trip back. Marlo calls her trash and again insults her behind, as she does all the time. Let's see. So they all go outside to get into the two vehicles that Marlo has for them. She tells one of the drivers, don't allow this woman on because she's not allowed to come. Kenya's not paying her any mind. She goes into the other truck. Hour and 30 minutes later, they have not left the driveway because Marlo and Kenya having a Mexican standoff. Marlo's like, we ain't leaving until she leaves. Kenya's like, I ain't going nowhere. Just a mess. Candy and Moneta are like, this is some BS. I think Fatum and those three decide to go to in-house by the lake to take pictures. They see a trampoline and they start having fun and taking pictures with the trampoline. Kenya goes back there. They're taking pictures, jumping. Marlo decides, well, she goes into the house, has a little meltdown, and then she comes out and tells everyone, let's get on the bus. She jumps on the trampoline for a little bit, feels like her spirit is free or whatever, and she's forgetful, and then she says that Kenya can go. But I was like, good Lord have mercy. But then you have an issue with Drew saying she doesn't want to sit in a car with this bitch, meaning Fatum. That happened a little earlier. And she called Fatum Sheree's lap dog. Sheree's like, that's my friend. It's not a lap dog. Then she starts barking. Like, when she does stuff like that, it seems like she's acting. Like she really thought this sounded acting. Now, granted, most of the women on there be dreaming up and coming up with some stuff. But Drew's just seems like real acting because she's an actress, I guess. I don't know. But like I said, I really don't like her. All righty. So they arrive at the gym mining place. Charlie, the owner, you can see on his face, he's not real happy to see a bunch of black people. I'm just keeping it 100. And side note, you will get looks like that in Blue Ridge, depending on where you go. I mean, like I mentioned the last two recaps, that my friends and I, we go to Blue Ridge every year. So it was funny because he has a nice little Trump 2024 sign up and everything. Kenya somehow knocks down the sign, which I thought was funny as hell. That sounded like something I would do. And tells the guy, I'm sorry, I kind of messed up your sign. They start mining. Drew says it's so lame. This mining thing is lame and corny. It's lame and corny like you. So I'm surprised you don't like it. Fatum sits in front of Drew. Drew gets up and leaves. Fatum starts yelling, acting up at this place that they know this man don't want them there anyway. Oh, God. Yeah, it was just a mess. So they head back. Sonia asks how, on the way back, Sonia asks how are they going to get back on like a very positive note. You see Marlo in her closet, basically starting to pack up some stuff, crying, saying how she wanted everything to be positive. She says the first day everything was good until then the second day Kenya shows up and everything was negative, which is true. So I kind of blame both Marlo and Kenya. On one hand, Marlo comes up with these rules and you have to do this. You got to stay in the cabin with me, which prompts Kenya to be a little honorary about it. Not honorary, but vindictive almost, because she's like, I'm still coming. I'm still going to hang out with y'all. I don't care what you say. So I blame both of them for messing up the trip. Marlo is crying and she explains how she wanted this trip to be bonding and she needed a recharge and relax. Fatum apologizes to Marlo and said that she could have been the bigger picture, but some people rile you up and that girl riles you up. Fatum and Drew start up again with the arguing. Then Drew magically gets a dog bone and throws it at Fatum, talking about, here, pick that up. Dog and all this, lap dog and all this other stuff. And according to Candy, in Watch What Happens Live that night, she said that she was throwing her a lot of bones. So on one hand, Drew was like, I hope Fatum doesn't come, but she was sort of acting like she didn't know the girl was going to come, but you had bones packed. So clearly you knew the girl was going to come. Just like I said, it's the acting thing for me. I will have to say that Marlo's confessional with those Chanel gloves, I was here for them. Those are so cute. I need to get those. Side note. So Marlo tells the ladies, she gathers, well, I think Sheree gathers all the ladies in the living room and says Marlo wants to talk to us. Marlo basically says that I wanted this to be a trip for me to recharge and relax. And now I feel worse than I did before we came up here. I have called cars for you guys, and y'all gonna have to leave. So she basically kicks everybody out of the daggone cabin. She said that she didn't have the support system that she was looking for. It's supposed to be about her. Then again, she said in the same breath that it's supposed to be about them and bonding. So which is it? I don't know. And then Marlo talks to her makeup artist, venting to that person. And that's pretty much how the episode ended. So it had some good moments, had some exciting moments. The Drew thing with the bone and all that, planned and lame, just like the gym mining. No, I would like to do the gym mining. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Would you like to do the gym mining? Do you feel like Drew is acting just a bit too much? Who do you blame for this trip being ruined? Is it Kenya or Marlo, or is it both of them? So that's pretty much it for my recap. Please remember to subscribe to my channel, hit like, and until next time, peace.